I'm aware that Messianic Jews are perceived as a threat to the Jewish community, and everybody knows that. As far as I know, I'm not a threat or a traitor to the Jewish community, and several times I have condemned the inappropriate acts of the fellow Messianic Jews who have done totally wrong things, like Nicholas Stonin and Pablo Christie. I mean, you don't burn the Talmud. If you don't want to study it, that's your shtick. If you want to burn your own copy of the Talmud, that's your shtick. But you don't have to go burning a copy just to say, you know, for example, haha, look at me, I'm going to burn your Talmud. You know, it's better if you study it, if you can, to get an idea of what your fellow Jewish people believe, and to point out what needs to be pointed out, rather than just doing what Nicholas Stonin did. And the reason I'm even bringing this up is because I got an email this morning. Here's how it reads. Well, here's part of how it reads. Antoni and Katarzyna are not at all Jewish names. Of course, you know, that's the excuse that they use when suddenly they figure out that I'm a Messianic Jew for some reason or other. They are Christian saint names. Well, Katarzyna and Antoni were used in the Jewish community, and there are Jews with names such as Anthony and Catherine today. For example, Tony Danza, Tony Bennett. So we could go on and on. In the 19th century, it is nigh on impossible that Jews would have borne such names unless they were baptized into the church. And we talked about this. Great-Great-Granddad and Great-Great-Grandma were. Unless they were baptized into the church. There is even one Czarnecki buried in a Lipsk Russian Orthodox cemetery. Well, we converted to Roman Catholicism and we lived in Lipsk, so why do you believe that any of them might have been Jewish? It's a long story. I've already covered this and in many videos which I previously had to delete, but that's another discussion. Also, is it true that both sets of great-great-great-grandparents were named Antoni and Katarzyna, or was that just a slip of the keyboard? I mean, it could have been that their names are really Antoni and Katarzyna, but it could have also been, you know, great-great-grandma, obviously. And, okay, based on what you write, there's really no way that we can be of assistance, but if you have further details or documents, please feel free to contact us. Best wishes. And so I wrote back to them. Of course, there is other parts of the email. And, let's see here. So this is what I sent back to them. Of course, I tried to be generous enough and hold back the other parts. And by the way, one guy did get once mad at me for saying that no Jews could possibly have been named Mary, and he was proven wrong. But that's another discussion altogether. Let's see. So they asked me where Bose was located, and I told them it was in Gmina Sejny, but that's another discussion for later. So responding to the point of the email I did read, though, they said Antoni and Katarzyna can't be names that belong to Jews, da 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 da. And so I said, my great-granddad and his parents were, meaning they were baptized. Well, and they were also Jewish, thus getting kicked off the Chernetski family farm in Lipsk, not Biebrza. Both gave Antoni and Katarzyna, great-great-granddad Julian's being Antoni and Katarzyna Danilowicza, Czarnecki, and great-great-grandmas Antoni and Katarzyna Morgiewicza, Andrulewicz, as their parents' names. They were indeed Jewish, and great-granddad's parents, Julian and Alexandria, converted during the pogroms. They named neither of their daughters Mary, by the way. All were Regina Alexandria Alice, directly after her mother, and Celia, even as they lived as Annuncium Roman Catholics in Sugar Notch, Pennsylvania. Also, and there are Jews who indeed bore Antoni and Katarzyna, out of dread for the Polish and Russian governments, e.g. Catherine Katarzyna the Great, rather than any Corvette for any of the Christian saints. And basically, I know what's going on here. They somehow figured out that I'm a Messianic Jew, and I'm obviously a threat to them. And okay, and you know, about the lie about both names being Antoni and Katarzyna. It was, now that I think of it, probably a lie on great-great-grandma's part, which it probably was, or she just didn't feel like giving their actual names. And, so I had to give, you know, the death certificates, because they asked for further documents. And I said, both were actually born on December 24th, 1876, and June 26, 1882, or at least that's what they had said on some documents. Great-great-grandma on the naturalization papers, and great-great-granddad on his, just various documents, actually. The December 24th comes directly from his World War I registration card, and then Kevin also said something earlier, and then he had given the name Felix as well, so his name was Julian Jan Felix, and then on the census record she had given Alexandria. And then, her middle name was Alice, so the Polish form would have been Alicia. I mean, I know what's going on here, and that's just part of the reason, too, I wanted to bring this all up, because I understand that Messianic Jews are a scary idea to the Jewish community. I understand it very much in a lot of ways. You know, it's a long discussion, but I think you get the point.